We are 48 hours from a critical level here for Bitcoin. This is the most major weekend for Bitcoin in 2023 so far. As you can see here, the last 3 days on Bitcoin has been hugely powerful as the market starts to digest what has actually been a phenomenal week. Yes, I'm going to break it down because, of course, this market has become very fearful around the SEC's attack on crypto, and rightly so. But if you look at the week that we've just had, what a major week. And can this week rescue us from a critical weekly candle close? Yes, if you look at this weekly candle close, we are coming in nastily close here to losing our weekly EMA ribbon. Intra-week, a couple of days ago, we were below our weekly candle, and a close below this tomorrow, that's in 48 hours, tomorrow, would lead to us losing our EMA ribbon and retracing to the downside. However, these are the fine lines. If we can bounce here, this green candle can finish as it is right now. This could be the early signs of us breaking out from this wedge and moving towards 31 and continuing our big move to the upside. So there is so much hanging on this next 48 hours. Now, if you appreciate these updates, guys, smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe as always if you're looking for a platform to trade with. I personally use Bybit. Some amazing bonuses there. When you deposit, you get free trading bonuses, which you can trade with for free. So definitely check it out. That's what I use to trade. And we're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways using those who sign up to Bybit as well. Okay, so what I want to now share with you here is let's jump down to the daily chart. And what you'll notice on the daily chart is we were in this descending wedge, right? Ever since we got rejected from 31,000, we started descending here to the downside. And a couple of days ago on Wednesday, we were nastily breaking to the downside, and this got the market very fearful, including myself, because once you start falling from this level, you can start to see that the support doesn't come into 24.3, and then even lower where the move started between 19.5 and 20. Okay, now thankfully we've had a really powerful 3 days thereafter, shaking out some of the shorts and moving us back into the middle of the range, which is really positive. And that was thanks to the Bitcoin ETF filed by BlackRock, and also just positivity around the Fed's pause. Yes, it was the Fed's pause, which then markets are saying, hang on, we should be positive, right? Because if you zoom back to when we were live streaming on Wednesday, when the market dumped, it was around the idea that we got rug pulled. Jerome Powell did rug pull us. And the way he rug pulled us was saying, here, you can have the pause, but we're going to do 2 more rate hikes this year, which markets didn't like, and Bitcoin started breaking down from this pattern and liquidating a bunch of people to the downside. But then, what markets have started to understand after the next couple of days is, hang on, we have just paused, right? This is a big deal. We've been tightening for a very long time, 11 consecutive rate hikes, the fastest rate hike in history in the US. Like, we need to rejoice here. This is a positive sentiment, okay? And that is why you've seen March become a very powerful month for traditional finance. The NASDAQ, S&P have been running, but Bitcoin has not been able to catch up because of the weight being pushed on by the SEC, suing Coinbase, suing Binance. So we'll keep an eye on this. So we had a really, positive end to the week, because if you look back and actually just take it for what it's worth without all the worry, because of course we had Tether depeg as well in between, you have to say, okay, we've got to pause. We've been waiting for this pause for very long. We've got a Bitcoin ETF filed by the biggest player in America. Now, I've shared my views on that because I'm a little bit suspicious about all that. So make sure you go watch my video from yesterday. I'll link that up here of why I'm just a little bit nervous around BlackRock being the one filing the ETF. But in overall, we're looking good, right? They're good pieces of data to come out this week. And that is why you're seeing the market starting to move. But this does not mean we are out of the woods. With any formation like this, what is the first thing you notice? And by the way, if you want to learn TA, ijaz.uk/TA, you can sign up to my TA course and learn head and shoulders patterns, trend analysis, candlestick patterns, everything, Fibonacci levels, EMA ribbon. It's all in there in one tidy course, easy to understand, so you can get set up and trading right away. So with any trend like this, you have to worry about the lower highs, right? We started at 31. Then after that, we were not able to get past 30. Then after that, we were not able to get past 28.5. And now the question is going to be, are we going to get rejected by the top of the trend? If we can break this level and work our way higher, fantastic, right? That is what we need on Bitcoin. We need to break, maybe come back, retest, and start working our way towards 30. and then getting out of this pattern. Getting out of this pattern will also then play out the situation which we had, which was our cup and handle pattern. And if you look at it, this is phenomenal. This cup and handle pattern still held. Even when we fell here on Wednesday, we held the cup and handle pattern. We're still in the handle of the cup and handle pattern. And remember, this pattern takes you to a crazy price target of 45. So not all is lost just yet, but it will be lost if we lose our weekly EMA ribbon tomorrow. And that is the key. We've got to stay at these levels. We're looking good right now, 26.6, but we cannot afford to dump here on Saturday or Sunday because remember, there's low trading volumes and that could throw us back then into those nasty patterns. So the bullish patterns are still there for us. We've got some work to do to break out from this channel and then get towards 30 and 31 and move to the upside, but it's still there. Now, of course, we've got the Coinbase and Binance lawsuits hanging over our heads, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere anytime soon. But the markets has to realize that we are switching on now slowly to a risk-on environment. We are starting to see inflation really start to significantly come down. We are starting to see that the US are now starting to pause, right? Which is them saying, okay, we're neutral now. We're not tightening as much as we were. We want to get to a point where eventually we can see the roadmap to when we're going to start loosen. So markets are going to start feeling excited about this. And that is why you're starting to see the movements up in the traditional place. And you can see that being represented by the dollar index. Look at the horrible week that dollar index has just had. A big painful week to the downside. And painful weeks to the downside for dollar index is what tends to provide the positive weeks for Bitcoin. Now, initially in the early parts of the week, this wasn't happening. Dollar index was falling to the downside, but Bitcoin couldn't keep up. But then we did see now later on in the week, Thursday, Friday, and now Saturday, that Bitcoin is able to finish off a positive week while the dollar index is moving to the downside. So if we jump back into the dollar index again, what I want to show you is it's getting rejected by its EMA ribbon. This is very, very important. We spoke about this. In these rally legs, Bitcoin will always do bad, right? Because risk is rotating off. But then you've got to push it back to the downside. Again, Bitcoin does bad, push it to the downside so then longer term Bitcoin could do better. This has to stay in a downtrend, and it has. If you look at this on the dollar index, look at this high and a lower high. Look at this low and a slightly lower low. Now you need to push it down to another lower low and keep this downtrend going here on the dollar index. That's going to be important. So two things. The dollar index needs to keep moving to the downside. Traditional markets need to keep moving to the upside. And then Bitcoin needs to maintain its ability to participate in the rallies. And that's going to rely on us not having crypto-specific issues. So there you have it, guys, a critical 48 hours in the price action of Bitcoin. Let me know how you're feeling. Hopefully these last few days have shown you how much of a roller coaster this asset class can be and how it's designed to shake out so many of the weak hands. When you panic, when you start selling your coins, and finally you realize that a big player like BlackRock wants to suddenly take part in crypto. There is a reason for it. There is a reason why years ago they come out and say this is an index for money laundering. And then second, they're trying to fly the flag to become the biggest proponent of the ETF, right? There's a reason for it. Same with Jamie Dimon over at JP Morgan. When they figure out how to control it, that is when they're going to start pushing it and being positive for it. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a good weekend wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next one.